Hi, her name is Emma Kay, and she is a first-time author of a soon-to-be-published book, The Terrible Truth About the Truth, the story of a Rwandan Tutsi genocide survivor. When home doesn't feel like home, and when abroad feels far from home. For those who haven't had a chance to listen to Emma's YouTube audios and who want to know more about her soon-to-be-published book, I invite you to listen to her first YouTube audio, but also listen to her other audios so that you remember to never, ever take anything for granted. Today, Emma will talk about the everlasting persecution of her sister and genocide survivor, Adeline Rwigara.
Adeline Rwigara is the widow of the multimillionaire businessman Paul Rwigara that I mentioned in my previous audio, assassinated following President Kagame's order on February 4, 2015, in what was called a car accident. For those who missed the details on Rwigara's killing, please watch my audio entitled Diane Persecuted Under Paul Kagame's Regime.
While Rwigara's killing was not the first or the last of Kagame's crimes against Rwandans, Rwigara's family was the first and is still among the very few Rwandans who dared speaking about Kagame's crimes aloud. Therefore, their audacity is always considered as an unforgivable crime in the eyes of dictator President Paul Kagame. That is why, for many years, Rwigara's family members have been administered a portion of torture every single day.
Since Rwigara's killing, friends and family have been organizing his memorials on a yearly basis. During the memorial held on March 27, 2021, Adeline took the opportunity and spoke about the killing of her husband and other crimes committed against innocent Rwandans on a daily basis. And as you can imagine, that infuriated our dictator President Paul Kagame. On April 7, 2021, when Adeline was ready to start the commemoration of the genocide of her family members, she received a letter from the Rwandan Investigation Bureau, RIB, inviting her to an interrogation on April 8, 2021.
Frankly, I couldn't believe that Rwandan authorities could be so disrespectful and insensitive to the genocide of Tutsis. After all, from March 27th, the date of Rwigara's memorial, until April 7th, there were almost 2 weeks, and RIB could have called Adeline during that time, but they chose the first day when Adeline, as a genocide survivor, was supposed to join others to officially commemorate the genocide of their loved ones.
Isn't this contradicting when you know that Victor Ingabire was sentenced to 15 years of prison when she was accused of minimizing the genocide of Tutsis, saying Hutus too deserved to be remembered? Adeline asked RIB to wait until the commemoration of the genocide concluded. Honestly, she thought her request was reasonable and in line with the Rwandan government guidelines on the respect that every Rwandan owes to 1 million souls of Tutsis killed during the genocide in April 1994. Surprisingly, the Rwandan authorities weren't sensitive enough to understand Adeline's point, and they turned down her request. After receiving 3 convocations in only 1 week, Adeline had no option other than going to RIB, and I wish she was called only once or twice.
On April 22nd, 2021, from 9 a.m. to 6 p.m., Adeline was undergoing her interrogation at the RIB, but that was not enough. Adeline was told to come back on April 29, 2021, and she endured another 9-hour-long interrogation, and again, that was not enough. Adeline was asked to come again in a week for another interrogation.
Every time Adeline goes to rape, we don't know if she will come back, and our fear is justified. After all, some time ago, the single mother of 4 young children, Idamanje, went to rape, and she was incarcerated. Until now, Idamanje has no clue about how her children are surviving without her. In 2017, Adeline Rwigara and her daughter Diane were handcuffed and brought to rape by the Rwandan police, and they spent an entire year behind bars. In 2014, Kizito Mihigo went to rape, and he didn't come back home alive.
People like Adeline, Idamanje, and Kizito are the ones we just talked about, but they are not the only victims of Paul Kagame's regime. Just so you know, people get killed every single day in Rwanda. Others go missing. Others are unjustly detained, and a few are still free, but they don't know until when. That is why they never, ever take their freedom for granted. I hope that when you listen to this story, you will think about people like Adeline Rwigara, who don't have a clue of what their future holds. Idamanje Iriamugwiza Yvonne, whose only wish is to have some light on the state of her minor children left alone, and Kizito Mihigo's mom, whose wound is too deep to ever heal. Also, when you think about these people, remember to never, ever take anything for granted.